that, we get to hear from the amazing Sara Shams, who is with us today. For those of you who don't know Sara, she is an internationally recognized disability advocate, speaker, model, and healthcare professional whose life is a testament to unfiltered visibility and strategic leadership. Sara is a bilateral above-knee amputee, proudly using prosthetic legs as part of her identity, not a limitation. Sara was born in Bangladesh, now based in Australia. Sara brings a deeply intersectional lens to her work, advocating for disability representation, cultural inclusivity, and authentic leadership. Sara also launched her platform No Legs, No Worries, and also recently her consultancy, Ethnobility, to amplify the voices of disabled people, particularly those from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds. So Sara's journey from navigating early stigma, Sara's journey from navigating early stigma to modeling in major fashion shows and breaking grounds in boardrooms reflects both her adaptability and fierce resilience. She's a pharmacist and a public health advocate with recent board roles and leadership positions to amplify inclusivity within linkages such as healthcare, media, and governance. And in 2024, Sara was honored with the Minister's Multicultural Award for her outstanding advocacy, and she also serves as an ambassador for the International Day of People with Disabilities, advancing intersectional equity on national and international stages. Sara isn't just visible, she thrives and leads out loud. And tonight she's here with us to show and share with us how she did it strategically, boldly, and unapologetically. So enough said from me. Now I'm going to hand it over to the amazing Sara to walk you through her approach towards being bold and building that bold, visible presence on social media. Over to you, Sara.
Thank you so much, Ali. And first of all, you're doing an amazing job with the last minute changes. I just wanted to put that in there before I get started.
Try.
But I would really like to say thank you so much, Ali and Em, for having me share my story with the Women of Colour Founders Network, and my story and my lived expertise, because when we share our stories, that's when we can touch many other people. Now, and of course, I want to say a big thank you to every single one of you for being here this evening. It's so lovely to have you here. So tonight, just a really quick overview. I'm going to be looking at my journey and how I build visibility online, navigating through alignment and integrity, showing up as a whole and not just polished. And I really like that aspect. I can't wait to get to that one. Some practical lessons that I hope you can take away from tonight and apply it to your own social media presence. And we'll have a bit of a Q&A afterwards. So get your questions ready as well. Thanks, Ali. So, as Ali has said, thank you for that generous introduction. My name is Sara Shams. I am a pharmacist by training, but I'm also a disability rights and diversity advocate, speaker, part-time actor, model, and founder of Ethnobility. And that is a consultancy working with brands and organizations to move beyond tokenism and into authentic inclusion. Much of this journey started for me when I created my account, No Legs, No Worries, on Instagram. And by the way, the No Legs, No Worries name was a nod to my high school bullies who used to tease me as No Legs Sara, which in hindsight is not very original. So as a double above knee amputee and a woman of color, my personal and professional life has always been shaped by these multiple intersectionalities within my identities. And today, I want to share how I built a bold social media presence by showing up with confidence, courage, and authenticity. And I hope that you can too. Now, this session's not about vanity metrics or hacks. It's about showing up in a way that is aligned, that is sustainable, and that is impactful. Now, before I go any further, I want to acknowledge the vulnerability of visibility. So when we talk about confidence and courage, I want to acknowledge that often something that goes unspoken is visibility is vulnerability. It's a scary place to be. Putting yourself out there, whether you're sharing your story, your work, or your opinions, it takes courage because it invites both connection, but it opens yourself up to criticism as well. For many of us who belong in marginalized communities, visibility can feel like a double-edged sword. In one hand, it's really powerful. It can challenge stereotypes and open doors. But on the other hand, it exposes us to misunderstanding, tokenism, or even backlash. So if you have ever felt hesitant or fearful about showing up online, you are not alone. And I love that you're here tonight as well. So as you can see on the slide, I hope you can see the slide now. That's me when I was, the first image on the left is when, before I had my bilateral above knee amputation. So I was born in Bangladesh, and because of a genetic anomaly, I became a bilateral amputee at a young age. So when I was born, I didn't have the bigger bones in the bottom half of my legs. So it's something called tibial hemimelia. A little bit of genetics for you tonight. So my parents migrated overseas in the search of better life for myself and my siblings as well. Now, growing up in Australia as a woman of colour with a disability in the 90s, early 2000s, it was not an easy environment. I didn't see anyone like me represented in media, in leadership roles, and certainly not on runways and the glossy magazines. I often felt alone and like I didn't belong within my cultural community or the Australian society. And as a result, there was a lot of shame associated with being different. I kept my disability hidden as much as I could. For example, you can see in that middle photo where I am always wearing stockings. I used to always wear stockings and long skirts or pants because I didn't want anybody to know about my legs or ask a question. And I didn't want to draw attention to myself. And you know what? The more I shrunk, the more invisible I became. Now, why did I start online? At first, No Legs No Worries, my Instagram page, was actually just a way of connecting with others. So growing up in the 90s, I didn't have connections with people like me at all. And social media enabled me to do that. I also wanted to increase representation and challenge stereotypes around people with disabilities. And as I said to you, the previous image was when I was wearing my tights. But I quickly realized as I became more, as I posted more online, I realized the power it held. Now, in the previous slide, sorry, Ali.
Oh,
Can we
sorry.
go back one slide? No, all good. Just go back one time. Yes, and one more click. So the last photo on this slide was the first photo I ever posted of me showing my legs in public. And that is without stockings, without a long skirt or pants on. And for me, that felt like such a massive, massive achievement and accomplishment. For everyone else, no one really blinked, but for me, it was a massive thing. So that's how I quickly realized that for me, it was the power of visibility, because people began telling me that my post gave them courage. So my page shifted from a private page where I was sharing experiences to a page of a public advocate and model. Now, obviously, there were challenges of, fear of judgment, fear of misrepresentation, an imposter feeling. I know we're all probably very familiar with the imposter syndrome term. So there was always something that held me back. But then I also came to the realization that visibility is powerful too. It's not just being seen, but it's being seen for who you are and what you stand for, not who they expect you to be. So the image on screen right now was taken at my very first runway casting. I was absolutely terrified when I went to this casting because there was no one who looked like me. I was there by myself. I actually overheard some of the tall, leggy, blonde models saying, "Oh, I feel like I'm going to fall over today." And they were laughing at each other, saying, no, if you fall, I'm going to fall. And in my head, I was thinking, if anybody is going to fall in this room, it's me being on stilts. But you know what? I did it. I went, I walked that runway, and I got the role. And that was both a shock, but such a powerful moment for myself. And from that moment on, I have been on multiple runways. Can we go to the next slide, please, Ali? So multiple runways, including Brisbane Fashion Week, including Cairns Fashion Week, Designer Q Runway. And I'm so proud to be able to represent, to be a woman of color with a disability on these platforms, because visibility is not just about numbers, it's about impact and connection. And those lessons for me shaped how I show up online today and beyond. And they can shape how you show up too. Thanks, Ellie. Next slide, please.
Oh, I can't get to the next slide. Give me one sec.
All good.
Just
Thank you.
tech issues galore tonight.
So just while Ellie's doing that, the next thing that I really want to touch on is alignment and integrity, because for me, it's really important to have alignment and integrity. Oh, apologies, I forgot about this slide. But showing up online and being authentic and proudful also has led me to so many opportunities, such as speaking engagements, getting the Multicultural Ministers Award, which is still something that shocks me today, but I'm very proud of that achievement and having that platform to share my story and elevating the voices of those women of color as well. I speak in the media a lot about presentation within the media. I was in an ANZ ad, I don't know if you guys noticed, a couple of years ago as well, because why not? We are in society, we should be seen, we should be heard, we should be represented. So for me, all those little things have led to so many opportunities that I could never, thank you, that I could never imagine I would be doing today. Thanks, Ali. Let's go, hopefully. Thank you. So the next part of what I wanted to share tonight is alignment and integrity. So for me, it means inclusion, it means authentic representation, and it means intersectionality. It's about education, awareness, and pushing for the systemic changes that are so needed to address the inequities that we face on every platform. Now, this drives what I do and what I advocate for and what I turn away from. And that's a very big one for me as well. And this is why defining your purpose and values is so critical. Before I post something, a story, a carousel post, a reel, or before I accept an opportunity, I ask 3 questions. Does it align with my values? Will it serve my audience or just my ego? And how will it affect my well-being? For example, very recently, I turned down a high-profile campaign because it tokenized disability. It was scary for me to say no, yes, but staying true to my values led to building trust with my audience. And I think that's one of the biggest things you can do to gain trust and have that integrity and alignment with your values. So as you can see on the slide currently, there's just a little thing called the visibility compass. So it's basically 3 to 4 guiding words or principles that you can use to check before you post. So for me, it's integrity, inclusion, curiosity, impact. You can have empathy, just some things that align with you and your values as well. And another one for me in that visibility compass is also equity, because I think equity is so important. And there's a massive difference between equality and equity. And I think that can be a lesson on its own. But just in case you're not sure what equity and equality is the best example I can give you is if I am, say, Ali, M, and a child, and I want to do a bicycle race, for example. Okay. Now, Ali and M will be given just a normal bicycle. If I'm given that normal bicycle, I won't be able to ride it. And if the little child is given that normal bicycle, they won't be able to ride it. So equality is when we are all given the same thing. But equity is when I am given a handheld bike, so I don't need to use my legs. And a child is given a tricycle, for example. Then that's an equitable scenario. That's a very quick lesson on equity and equality. Yeah, and if you have any questions on that, please let me know at the end of the session. All right, thank you. So yes, building your visibility compass is really important. So for you, gather what's important and stick to those and check before you post or accept any collaboration. Next slide, thanks, Ali. Now, this one's a really big one because when you know your audience, that's when you can build genuine dialogue. That's when you can build trust and share your lived experience to create that trust. It's really important to know who you're speaking to. Not everyone needs to be your audience. Building that genuine dialogue. So reply to comments, share your learning journey, ask questions, engage authentically. And finally, share lived experience to create that trust. But of course, only at the level that you're comfortable with, because your mental health matters online. Thanks, Ellie. Next slide, please. So this is what I was saying about one of my favorite things to discuss, because social media often encourages the highlights reel, as we've heard this term, but connection comes from authenticity. So for example, if you have a look at these slides, these are actually posts that I've taken from my Instagram page. As you can see, there are some professional and very polished photos on this screen, but also there's also photos where I'm being, candid, not looking my best, or holding a bit of food, whatever it may be. Now, this is what builds authentic connection with your audience. I always try to share a mix of polished images, but well as candid and funny ones. And you know what? More often, the response I get to the less polished, less curated posts, it actually gets more engagement. And why is that? It's because people can relate to that more. People see themselves reflected on the screen when they see someone being human. So I can't stress enough how important that is, being authentic. Now show people your processes, not just the outcome. So perfection does not equal connection. Humanity equals connection. So definitely a practical tip for me from this one would be mixed curated content. So for me, it would be showing speaking engagements, my achievements, modeling shots, runway shots, for example, but also with reflective content. So what you're learning, what challenges you're facing, your values in action. Very recently, actually, I did a post of me sitting on the couch using my legs as an armrest. I twisted my leg around. Have a look at my page. I think it's from maybe a couple of weeks ago. But I twisted my leg around and I was resting my chin on my foot. And that got a crazy amount of engagement. I should have pasted that photo here. But that got such fun. And it's because it's funny. It's just me being silly with my prosthesis. It's not always about education. But it was a great post for people just to engage with. Thanks, Ellie. Next slide. Now, this is a very important one as well. So boundaries. For your sanity, decide in advance what's private and what's public. I share my story publicly, but I keep some aspects of my personal life completely offline. Protect your mental health, schedule breaks, curate your feed in a sense where unfollow accounts that drain you. You do not need to keep those accounts on your profile. If you are feeling negative energy or not gelling with that account, you don't need to follow them. Definitely unfollow. And moderate or block when you need it. Please remember these little tidbits, because I think often social media can be draining and you need to take care of your mental health. So curate your space. Thanks, Ellie. Now, I wanted to pop this one in here because I think storytelling is so important on social media, because that's another way that you connect with your audience. Now, it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. For me, using a simple structure, for example, challenge, journey, and then what happened at the end, can be really, really helpful for audience to connect with. So, for example, instead of saying I'm a disabled model, I frame it as, here's what inclusive casting can look like and why it matters. So I hope that shift in how we are telling the story makes sense. Now, next slide. Thank you, Ellie. So these are some screenshots of messages I've received from people all over the world, based on what I've shared online. And actually these are not the most recent ones, but this is just a snippet of what I receive often. Impact is something that we should all be looking at when we are working on a project, but it's really important to look at qualitative impact and not just metric. So this is, like I said, a fraction of the DMs that I receive, and it's what keeps me going. Because when I receive messages like, because of you, I know my daughter has a future because of what you share, because of how you are, it gives me hope. And I get messages, I'm trying to learn and to love myself, and people like you out there make a difference. Thank you for doing what you're doing. This is not, I have X number of followers. This is the meat of why I do what I do, because messages like this keep me going. And that's why it's really important to also keep tabs on other metrics, not just your number of followers, but things like, if you want to be a speaker, if you want to do a little bit more in that space, how many invitations are you getting to be on panels, for example, or collaborations that brands are reaching out to you. And another part of impact for me is using my platform to amplify others' voices, because I don't need to be up in this space on my own, and I don't want to be. The whole reason I started this is because I wanted others like me to feel seen, heard, represented, and belong, a sense of belonging. And I want to use my platform to ensure that others are coming with me, that others are at this table that we are building. Because collaboration also strengthens credibility. And that's also another reason that I'm so grateful and thrilled to be here with Em and Ali tonight, because I think when we get together, we are so strong. I always say that alone we're strong, but together we're unbeatable. So thank you for having me here. All right. I think we're actually nearing the end of my presentation. Thank you, Ali. Yep. Now, going back to where we started, confidence and courage in visibility isn't just about being fearless or perfect. It's about knowing your why, showing up aligned and authentic, setting boundaries and telling stories that matter. When you do that, you don't just build social media presence, you build trust, impact, and community. So I would love to leave this session, and I would love for you to reflect on what's one value that you want your visibility to reflect, and what's one small authentic step you could take this week. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sarah. That was awesome. Sorry about the toggling back and forth on slides. I'm just going to make sure everyone can actually see the slides. So I think we're in a good space. So over to Em to cover some practical tools and techniques that everyone can take away and start immediately applying to their businesses as of tonight or tomorrow, depending on how excited you are to implement these awesome techniques. So over to you, Em.
Thanks, Ali. Thanks, Sarah. That was incredible. And one of the things that really resonated with me was when you shared about having boundaries. So a lot of women that we speak to who want to amplify their presence online, the hesitation is always on, but I don't want people to know things about my life. So knowing that you can post what you want and have restrictions on how much people can have access to things. So I'll give an example. On my platform, I don't show my family. I only talk about myself. And, most people have actually asked me where my daughter is, or, but those are the boundaries I've put in place because I don't want to be doing that. So as long as you know why you want to be doing something, you can apply the boundaries that you want and still show up in a way that feels authentic. So that was an amazing share, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you again. And so in this next session of the masterclass, we are going into a practical into a practical way, you can apply visibility across social media platforms. After I'm done, we will have a Q&A session. So if there's anything you want to ask Sara, just think about it. You can put it in chats. If there's anything that I say and you want clarification on, put it in chat and we can respond to that at the end of the session. So strategic visibility is not the same as showing up more. And I know Sara touched on this as well, that it's not about posting every single day. Posting every day and going viral is not the same as attracting the right opportunities that are aligned with your values and that are aligned with your goals, whether that's business, career, or personal. If your content doesn't reflect who you are and doesn't speak to the people you want to serve, chances are it will not support your goals. And while you are present online, you are not positioned. So we're going to start with the visibility pyramid framework. And I love this framework, and it's something that we use a lot with creators, consultants, and founders who want visibility to build a business or their careers. Each layer is a foundation for the next, and you can't build trust if you don't have clarity. You also can't sell if people don't know who you are and what you're about. So let's break it down. If you've got your workbook, I would encourage you to look at it. Don't fill it in yet. Look at it, just see as we are going through, note things in your notebook, and then work through the workbook when you've got time. So the first one is identity. Know who you are. This is the first stage of the framework. Know who you are and what you stand for. So these are the questions that will help you reflect on that. What are your top 3 to 5 values? What are the things that you will not compromise on? So an example would be if you work within a not-for-profit sector, and an organization approaches you and asks you to change a few sentences out of your mission statement so that it can be palatable and they can work with you. Will you agree or will you say no? So things that you will say no to at the cost of revenue, at the cost of reputation. As Sara shared earlier, she said no to an opportunity that could have increased her revenue for the quarter, but she said no because it wasn't aligned with her values. So think about, what are your values? These are not things that you would like. These are things that actually resonate with who you are. Also think about, what do you want to be known for? Not just what you've done, but what do you want to be known for? And you can position this 10 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. Start acting or behaving in the way that you want people to see you. And then think about, what story are you telling without saying a word? What's the story you're telling? And the practical tools for this is choose 3 values or themes your content will always reflect. So what are the things you want to be talking about? Think about your voice. Check your last 5 posts if you've been posting. Choose your favorite platform and check your 5 last posts. Do they sound like you or a professional curated version of you? And do they align with the things that you want to be saying or doing, or the voice you want to be recognized for? Then presence check. Does your visual presence reflect your boldest self? This is important because people will always make assumptions or will judge the profile photo first before they see anything else. So just check those 3. Your visibility anchor. Is your content reflective of the values? Your voice audit. Is checking your 5 posts. Do they sound like you or they sound like someone who's curated? Your presence check. Does your visual reflect your boldest self? So for LinkedIn, check your profile photo and banner. These should reflect your presence, not just your profession. If you're on Instagram, does your feed reflect your energy or just your niche? And if you're on TikTok, are you letting your personality breathe, or are you copying trends that don't suit you? And people can dictate inauthenticity. So always double check and sense check if these things feel natural to you or a little bit forced. The second one is clarity. Know what you offer and who it's for. So that's the second in the visibility framework. The first one is identity. The second one is clarity. Know what you offer and who it's for. You can't convert what you can't communicate. If a lot of people are always asking, so what exactly do you do? Think about it this way. What do you want people to say about you when you're not in the room? How do you want people to refer to you when you're not in the room? If someone is talking about you, what are the things that they can easily say that people can come to you for advice or to work with you? So what do you actually do? Who is it for? And what transformational outcome do you help create? So a lot of people will say, I'm a coach, right? But a lot of people say that. What is the transformation that you help people get? That's the magic. That's what will help you be known for something that you stand for. So a practical tool would be when you're building your bio. This is a bio builder template, and use it this way. So I help. Who do you help? Do. What do you help them do so they can? What is the outcome? Get a promotion, get more visible, get recognized for the things that they do, attract the right opportunities. Always qualify that so that when someone sees it, they will be like, oh, this is exactly the solution that I need. Also, an offer grid. This is a 3-column table with your offer, your price, and your audience. Again, this is important so that you're not compromising on the price of the value that you're bringing, and that you know exactly who the audience is for the offer that you have and the price that you have set. Also think about the pinned content. Are you really showing what you do clearly? And this is brilliant across all social media platforms. You can always pin a comment, and that comment will help people understand what it is that you offer, who it's for, and how they can work with you. If it's a recruiter, they will know how you can help their potential client. If it's a prospective, they will know how you can help them reach their goals. So let's look at LinkedIn. If it's LinkedIn, your headline, use the full 220 characters to speak your offer, not just your job title. Your job title is great, but then what else do you do? On your banner, add a simple call to action or tagline, and you can design this in Canva. And your about section, this is not your resume. This is your opportunity to talk about what you do, who you help. Your first line should pull your ideal audience in. What are you saying and how are you qualifying it? And your last line should tell people how to work with you. And this is one of the things that this is where a lot of people don't get conversion on their content, because they're not telling people what to do. It'll be great content, but as long as people don't know what the next step should be, they will not convert. If it's on Instagram, your bio should say what you do, who you help, and where to go next. If it's a link in bio, use Linktree. Linktree is great. I don't use Linktree anymore. I just use the links. I found it's easier for people to click. But if you have more than 4 links in your bio, then use Linktree or Standstill. Those are brilliant to use. And on your highlights, use them as mini FAQs. And those are brilliant. Like, it's so easy to just have text on your stories. And if you can do that, use that as mini FAQs. Remove the friction for people to work with you and to get in touch with you and address any restrictions people might have. For TikTok, your name field is literally searchable. So use it wisely. Use keywords. Search up what keywords people in your field use on TikTok and use those within your name, because that's searchable and people can find you that way. Also have 3 pinned videos, 3 that say who you are, what you offer, and why they should care. Those 3 pinned videos are gold. I absolutely love those. The only struggle I have is choosing the 3 that I can pin, but you can always be rotating them. So look it up, see what resonates, and pin those videos. The third pillar within this framework is your content. Show up in the way that connects. You want to connect. Sarah spoke about authenticity. Authenticity, I feel like it's a word that we can become really towards. But when you think about it, particularly the way that she described it, it is one of the most powerful tools we have at our disposal. When you show up as you are, the right people will be attracted to you. So authenticity is important because it helps you show up with your content in the way that will connect to your ideal clients or the ideal people you want to attract, whether it's recruiters or clients or business partners. This will help you get that. So try not to think of content as a chore. Once that starts happening and it feels a little bit icky or a bit yucky, take a step back and break from it. And then come back when you can now create what can be a conversation. This is important because if you don't enjoy what you're doing online, it will be hard for people to enjoy engaging with that content. So ask yourself these 3 questions. What do you want to be known for? Are you creating for survival or for strategy? Are you creating or following trends that have nothing to do with the things that you provide? Is your content helping someone believe in something new? At times we can get caught up in metrics like how many followers does this person have? Yes, those are the followers that brands follow and all those things. But the most impactful people online are those that have attracted followers that are getting something valuable from the content that they share. So their content always performs. So look at those 3 things. What do you want to be known for? Are you creating for survival, for trends, or is it strategic? And is your content helping people believe in something new? So don't be afraid to share your point of view. If you've done this framework, this visibility framework, and you've reflected on it and be honest about the responses you're putting down, you will be able to create content. You will be able to create point of views that are not popular, but are aligned to the things that you do. So we're going to, and I am moving pretty quickly because we do have a lot to cover, and I want to make sure that we share all this information. Just a reminder that the session is recorded and you will get access to this. So you can take your time as you're going through your worksheet and listening to this. So we've got content strategy tips that we use, that the 3 of us use, and we've seen has great impact online. The first, we call this the 3C filter. Every post that you do should either connect, so it should be relatable. Are you talking to someone within a post? It should challenge a belief. So think about, some people call it disruption, some people call it unconventional thinking. So challenge a belief, something that's widely believed. One of the posts that have done really well that I've seen from marketing's perspective is when people say SWOT analysis is useless. So just posting something like that and people will react towards that, but you have to then be able to back it up and then convert. This is the other C. What is the action you want people to take? So every time you're posting, sense check those posts, sense check that content against these 3 C's. Is your content relatable? Is it a belief that you have? Are you challenging a belief? And what is the action you want people to take? So your content rotation can look like, you can post something about behind the scenes, that's your truth. You can teach something about an insight, a framework, or myth busting. You can build a post on your offer. You can have social proof of visibility. The way people convert is when they see how others who have worked with you react to your content. So start small. Choose one core platform you can focus on for the next 90 days. One of the key advices I've seen online is, if you are consistent on a platform for 180 days, conversion comes. I know this sounds like a lot, and you don't have to be posting every day. Again, remember your framework. What is comfortable for you? If you need to post 3 times, then do that, but do it consistently. Whatever you commit to it. Be disciplined in it and be consistent over a period of time. And the recommendation is at least 180 days. Most people give up in the first 30 days because it's not working. Keep going. It will make an impact. And don't try to grow on all platforms at the same time. Choose one core platform. That's where you drive your key content. Also choose a platform where your ideal clients or your ideal audience is. If you're after recruiters, then be on either TikTok, because recruiters are now searching on TikTok, or be on LinkedIn. If you're after potential clients, then be on Instagram or TikTok as well. But build for depth before you build for scale. That is important. So a platform guidance by phase. LinkedIn is fantastic for B2B, consultants, professionals, or service-based businesses. Instagram is best for community building, storytelling, and personal brand presence. And TikTok is currently my favorite at the moment because there's no gatekeeping. So if your content, if you want to have awareness, if you want to have energy, experimentation, or just really authentic visibility, I would encourage TikTok. The rewards, like you're rewarded for really good content, so there can be a boost of confidence if you're still not sure which platform to follow. And I know some people are not comfortable with videos, so you don't have to show your face. Some people have grown accounts by just refining. There's a woman on TikTok who, if you met her on the street, you wouldn't be able to tell, because there are certain filters you can apply on your videos, and people will see a refined version or a version of you that doesn't really look like you, just in case you want to protect yourself. And that's completely understandable, and a lot of people are applying that. So community, build trust and connection. So you're not just building a platform, you're building a relationship. Ask yourself, who is watching? Who is already watching you and supporting you? How are you nurturing that? And how are you replying? Are you reciprocating? People love to reciprocate. So when you like people's posts and you comment on their posts, people will want to reciprocate and ask how they can help you. So think about a weekly engagement plan. So maybe 10 minutes a day to engage with other accounts. I always recommend that if you're spending time on that platform anyway, you might as well use it to build your brand. If you're always on Instagram, you might as well use it to build your brand, because most of these platforms reward you for the commitment or for the time you're spending on the platform. So voice note DMs as well, especially on LinkedIn and on Instagram. These are powerful. If you are more comfortable sending a voice note, send a voice note to people. People are very receptive to that. And also, let's talk about it posts. Create space for dialogue. People love to give their opinion as well. And if you can always ask a question at the end of the post, that's your call to action, and people can engage with that. So conversion. Yeah, I know it's voice notes, right? I have to be honest and say there's actually someone I'm working with who is a videographer, and he sent me a voice note on LinkedIn. I thought that was a bit strange, but I listened to it, and somehow it personalized the experience I had with it just personalized the experience. And now I've been working with him for almost 4 months now. So you never know. It might not resonate, but when you know your audience, you know exactly what you can send to them. So fifth, visibility, conversion, visibility that gets you paid. If you know Ali and I, we are about wealth creation and wealth building. When you're building a legacy, you need the wealth to amplify it, to get people to pull down the ladder, to put down the ladder and get more people coming up. So visibility that gets you paid. You're allowed to be seen and to get paid. So don't be afraid to ask. Ask yourself, Am I asking people to work with me or buy from me? A lot of people will post but will hesitate to ask people to either sign up for a product you're launching or get a job. There are people who are afraid to ask for referrals online. What's comfortable for you is what you do. How can you ask people to work with you, to refer your work, or to buy from you? Is there a clear call to action in at least one post per week or one post per fortnight? You never know who's on the fence about the content you're sharing, and it's just that one click away from engaging with you. Are you also tracking what's working? Think about a conversion, like a call to action ladder. So a soft one would be follow along. So you're saying to people, follow along, like follow your account. People want to be told, people prefer being told and directed on what to do. A medium call to action would be grab the freebie or get this for free on my website or online. And then people give you your email address, you send them, we call that a lead magnet. Or people can just grab it with no exchange of an email. And then there's a hard call to action. This is the one that you don't want to overdo on maybe once a fortnight or once a month. And this is book now, apply, or buy. So these are your 3 different call to actions, and you can be applying one every week and rotating them and see what resonates, what language is resonating with the people that you want to be working with. You can have a monthly offer post where it's clear, confident, and unapologetic, and you track these through profile visits, website clicks, DMs. People do send direct messages and replies. So your visibility planner, choose one platform for the next 90 days. I would love for you, if you choose LinkedIn, send me a message. I can be reviewing your content and giving you feedback in real time because I absolutely love LinkedIn. If you're on Instagram, again, send a message and I would love to be seeing, like we would love to be seeing your content. If on TikTok, definitely I would love to engage. The great thing about TikTok is once you connect with someone, they prioritize that content. So whichever one of these platforms, choose them, get in touch with Sara and Alison or I, and we can be engaging and reviewing the content you're doing. Answer these questions. What's your core platform? Choose one. What are your content pillars? Remember, we spoke about values. What are the 3 things that you want to consistently be talking about? What's your weekly content flow? Are you going to be teaching one thing, a post about teaching, one truth, one thing that would disrupt people within your industry, or a conversion post? Just be consistent. Even if it's twice a week, be consistent with that twice a week. Think about your call to action within that week. Is it going to be something that engages with people? What is that going to be? And also think about your engagement goals. Do you want people to comment? Do you want people to follow you? What are your engagement goals? And also define what is the one visibility action you're going to take this coming week or this coming month. Well, we've got 10 days left for the month. What is the one visibility action that you're going to take? You don't need to be everywhere. You need to be intentional and consistent. So please use the handout. It will help you shape your visibility strategy more intentionally, and don't give up. It can seem like it can seem really slow to grow on these platforms, but you just need that one post and things will just blow up. It happens. Visibility takes time to build, one intentional action at a time. Thank you. I'll hand over to you, Ali, for the final reflection and questions.
I am on mute. Thanks, Em. There was a lot of great content, tools, and takeaways in there. So there was a lot that we're trying to cover in the hour that has just passed. And thank you again for being so patient with all the tech difficulties that we've been experiencing this evening. But before we go, we just want to leave you with one final reflection. It's again echoing what Em has said. What is one visibility action that you take this week? It could be something small, like finally updating that bio or posting that content that you've been sitting on, or even reaching out to a collaborator that you've been watching from the sidelines. I know a lot of us like to look at what other people are doing in the similar industry, if not the same industry as us. So if there's someone that you've been thinking, hey, I might DM that someone or send a DM voice note, now that we know we can send DM voice notes, send it and see what comes back. A lot of the times people are very open to collaboration and partnerships. So, if you're not sending it out there, then you're never going to know what's going to come back to you. So I would highly encourage you to do that. So whatever it is that you've decided for yourselves, you have to name it, own it, and just start. Like, we always just need to take that one little step, right? And we'd love to hear what's landed for you. So you can either share your takeaways with us in the WhatsApp group, which I'll pop on here. So that's the QR code. Some of you are already in the WhatsApp group because you've joined our previous masterclasses. For those who are new, please come and join us in the WhatsApp group because we continue conversations there. Tag us, connect with us on Instagram, on LinkedIn. We're on the social channels that we talked about, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Or just write it in your journal and commit to taking the next aligned step. So again, last but not least, connect with the amazing Sara. Thank you so much again for your time and energy in sharing so much gold with us and how we can show up authentically on social media. And we hope to connect with you further for those of us who have not connected. So you can scan that QR code and you can connect with Sara that way. And last but not least, thank you again for being here. Thank you for putting up with my tech difficulties. It was a bit stressful at the beginning, I must admit.